OnlyJayus being canceled for saying N-word lover and some homophobic slurs has been extremely draining on my ability to articulate my thoughts coherently without trying to step on people's toes. So, first things first, I'm going to show you guys the screenshot. I'm not going to read it, so you can pause it, but you guys should continue to listen and watch the full video all the way through, or you're going to step on a nail. Yeah, that would suck, wouldn't it? You don't want to risk it, right? But to get into it, OnlyJayus was in an argument and called somebody an N-word lover and some homophobic slurs as well. And she's now being canceled on TikTok, and it's made its way onto YouTube and that kind of stuff as well. And there's a few things that I want to talk about. Back then, when this was said, homophobic slurs were basically everyday vocabulary for a lot of people. Homophobic, like if something was bad, it was gay back then, right? I even said it. It was a completely different dynamic back then, and people are trying to cancel JS right now and going for her sponsors. They've made her lose 2 sponsorships now because of this, and I want to address why this is bad for everybody, right? When somebody does something bad, when something bad happens to them, you can justify it with being like, oh, that's good, right? But this doesn't only affect JS, right? This affects other content creators like me or your favorite, commentary or your favorite gamer or whatever. Like, look at Ninja's Hyper or Ninja, whatever you want to call him, whatever you know him as now. Right, he has changed completely his whole everything to fit this PC culture, right? This being correct culture because of stuff like cancel culture, right? When you do or say something bad and you get canceled, it really affects that creator that it's happened to, right? JS is going to lose a lot of money for these deals, obviously, right? You're like, well, that's a good thing. But now these brands are like, I want this super kid friendly, this super like tiny spectrum of creators, right? That's all they want because they don't want the backlash. They don't want to have to worry anymore. They want very certain people. So it affects a lot of other creators like me, somebody who swears. I say fuck. Now I can't run ads. I'm not family friendly, so some sponsors won't want to work with me. I might be able to get a dildo sponsor, like, yo, Adam and Eve, like, hit me up or something. I want like $5 and I'll wiggle around a dildo for you or something. But like, right, I can't make or talk how I am because this continues to just get worse. It's a slope. And I pretty much almost always agree with Freak the Gemini on stuff. But there's one thing that he said in his video, like he was like, yo, y'all will cancel people for something 10 years ago that was like way less bad than this, and you all won't even cancel JS. And I think there's a couple things to unpack there. One being the fact that people pick and choose who's bad because they like them or dislike them. And they also pick and choose where and how bad somebody gets affected by stuff, right? So people will pick and choose who deserves to be canceled because they like them or they don't, or whatever their beliefs are or whatever. And I think that's wrong. There's no base standard for something, right? 1 minute, Charlie, everybody's outraged. They're like, yo, Charlie vapes, like, what a piece of garbage. And then the next minute, everybody's like, yo, Jace is, super bad because she said the N-word. And I think when you're looking at these situations, you need to look at where that person has come from and the context and what's happened up until that point, right? And I think that's why, like, absolutely, if you dislike JS, do not follow her. If you dislike who sponsors her, do not buy that product anymore, period, right? You don't need to email Netflix. You don't need to email or message other people's sponsors. You don't need to do all that. Stop supporting that company. Stop supporting that creator. Block them, right? That's that simple, right? That's the best course of action without destroying other creators' lives as well, right? So addressing the OnlyJayus situation, we have to look at it as a few things. How long ago it was, have they changed, and the response, right? It was about 5 or 6 years ago, right? So she would have been, I think, 16 or 17 or something at the time. That is a long time ago, and people don't start or finish maturing until they're, mid 20s. So you can look at it at a couple ways, like, oh, she was young and dumb and it happens, whatever, who cares, continue to follow her. Or the way I look at it is, that was an awful thing that she said. 100%. She meant it to be derogatory and discriminatory and disgusting. She meant it, right? She even said in her apology, which I'll play in a few minutes here, but it was a while ago. So let's look at what she's done in the last little while. Has anything else come up? Well, yeah. I mean, she was on the phone talking about black creators, the black creators are canceling me, and that, in a derogatory way, right? That right there proves that she has not changed. That right there shows that she has not made a difference over that time period or an attempt to continue to better herself. For me, for example, 5 years ago, I was a drug addict, chemical junkie, and I was drinking booze every day and being awful. Fast forward to now, I've changed. I don't drink that much. I might drink once a month, and I'll do mushrooms every 3 to 6 months, maybe, if I can afford them. That's it, right? That's a big difference. So should I be canceled for doing meth 7 years ago, 5 years ago? No, right? That doesn't make sense. But Jayus proved that she has not changed, that she does not want to change. And then she puts out her terrible apology, which I'll play for you right now so you can see.
In my past, I said disgusting things to people, and I am so ashamed of myself for using racist rhetoric and derogatory language to hurt others, because I knew what that word meant, and I understood the power behind it, but I said it anyway because it was the meanest thing that I could think of, and I am so sorry to everyone, but especially to those in the black community, because only you guys can forgive me for this, and there is no excuse, and there are no justifications for what I said, and you guys deserve better. And when I first saw the screenshots, I didn't even think that they were real, because I forgot how hateful and how angry of a person I used to be, and it hurts my soul knowing that I said those things. But the screenshots and the things I've said in my past are not a reflection of who I am today. And I am so grateful for the people in my life that I met after high school, in college, at my previous jobs, and on TikTok, who took their time to educate me on their experience. In my past, their experiences, because listening to them was so powerful and a real reality check for me. So I want to take this time to take a step back and share my platform with some amazing black creators who are going to tell their story to try and educate others on the trauma that happens when we use this kind of language. I know that my words hurt people, and I know that my words have consequences, and that there is no immediate fix for my actions. But I am so deeply sorry for all the pain that I've caused, their experiences, because listening to them was so powerful and a real reality check for me. So
in that apology, none of that looked genuine at all to me, right? It looked like it was a massive PR written script, like, I'm sorry for being an awful person, and, please forgive me, which is probably what happened. She probably hired a manager and they wrote up some terrible script and she read it off after not sleeping. She has proved that she doesn't want to change, and then she puts out an awful response to add to terrible creators' apology compilations, right? So does she deserve to be canceled? Not necessarily, but if you don't like her, do not follow her, right? And then Netflix was her sponsor, so don't watch Netflix. It's not that hard. There's a million other things you can watch, right? These creators, and I was in the same boat of canceling people and stuff, and Gothix did a beautiful video on this, and I'm going to link it below. But I was in the same boat, like, cancel people, cancel, take their sponsors, take everything from them. But that affects other creators. Like me, for example. Now I cannot run ads. I cannot get certain sponsors because they want certain family-friendly, the Nick A30 type of people, right? Where you have to watch every little word you say, because one minute you have your money and then the next minute it is being taken from you. And while I don't care about money, which is why I swear I don't care if my videos are demonetized. All of them pretty much are, for the most part. But this affects a lot of people's livelihood. Eventually, creators and content will literally just be Minecraft and Roblox and, hippity hoppity 30-year-olds who act like children and are completely family friendly. We won't have the good ninja. We won't have the good Tim the Tap Man. We won't have the good swearing content creators that we enjoy and think are funny that say some things out of pocket. We won't have that anymore. This is a slope, and we continue to slide on it, the worse it gets. So we need to get off this slope. Don't watch JS if you don't like her. I won't be watching her because I don't like what she said. I don't like that, she hasn't proven in any way that she's willing to change. And, I don't even think she should have even put out an apology necessarily. I don't think some people should apologize. I think you should address the situation for what it was, admit to your wrongdoings, and say, this is how I've changed. Deal with it or don't. Some creators should just do that, honestly, because this cancel culture we've created is completely out of hand, and it's just going to get worse if we keep pushing this narrative.